Okay, get this. What if you could talk to ChatGPT just by thinking about it? No typing, no talking, just a direct line from your brain straight to an AI. And no, that's not some sci-fi movie plot anymore. It's the future that one of the biggest names in tech is trying to build right now.
That's a quote from OpenAI's Sam Altman, and you gotta believe he's not just daydreaming. This is his mission statement, his vision for a totally seamless conversation between a human mind and artificial intelligence.
So the big question is, how on earth would that even work? I mean, how do you build a bridge between our squishy biological brain and cold, hard digital code? Well, the answer involves a pretty radical new approach to technology.
All right, so let's get into it. The company at the center of all this is reportedly called Merge Labs, and this is Sam Altman's big play in the world of brain-computer interfaces, BCIs for short.
And look, this is not some little side hustle. We're talking about a goal of raising $250 million. That kind of cash, with that kind of valuation, would instantly make them a major player, right up there with the big dogs in the BCI world. It just goes to show you how serious Altman is about this. But here's where it gets really interesting. Merge Labs isn't just following the same old path of implanting a bunch of wires. Nope. They're trying something completely different, a method that uses sound to communicate with the brain. The field is called sonogenetics.
Okay, so what in the world is sonogenetics? It's pretty mind-blowing. The basic idea is, well, imagine you could genetically tune your brain cells, kind of like tuning a radio. You'd be making them into these tiny little receivers that are listening for one very specific thing, an ultrasound wave. So how do they pull this off? It's basically a two-step dance. Step one, you use gene therapy to tweak specific neurons, making them sensitive to that ultrasound signal. Then, for step two, you'd implant a tiny device that acts like a transmitter. It sends out those sound waves to talk to the modified cells, and it can both listen to what they're doing and even influence their activity. Now, the big advantage here is that this could be way less invasive than, drilling holes and sticking a bunch of electrodes in your brain. But, and this is a huge but, it is an enormous scientific mountain to climb. Just getting the gene therapy part right, making sure it's safe, and only targets the cells you want it to target, that alone is probably going to take many, many years of research to clear.
Okay, so Altman's not alone in this race. Of course not. There's another huge name in tech trying to plug our brains into computers, Elon Musk. And Altman's whole sound-based approach sets up this fascinating rivalry with Musk's, well, very different idea.
So you've got this incredible contrast. In one corner, you have Merge Labs betting the farm on sonogenetics, that's gene therapy plus ultrasound. And in the other corner, you've got Elon Musk's Neuralink, which is all about implanting tiny electrodes to listen in on the brain's natural electrical chatter. It really boils down to this: sound versus electricity. But here's the kicker, the really surprising part. Sam Altman? He's not just a competitor to Neuralink, he's also an investor in it. Yeah. It kind of suggests he's hedging his bets, right? Like he thinks there might be more than one way to get this done. But look, this isn't just about a showdown between two tech billionaires. Not at all. They're just the most famous faces in a much, much bigger field. This whole area is exploding with investment and brain power, all focused on, first, treating diseases, and then, the big one, actually augmenting how we think. And the money flowing into this space, it's just staggering. I mean, check this out, $100 million. That's what another BCI company called Nudge just raised. And get this, they're also betting on ultrasound. So this tells you it is absolutely not just a two-horse race. This field is on fire, and there are a lot of serious contenders. And if you look at the major players, you can see everyone's trying a different angle. You've got Merge Labs and Neuralink going for implants, but then you have a company like Nudge, which is working on something totally non-invasive, like a helmet you'd wear that just beams the ultrasound in. The race is definitely on, and everybody's placing their bets on different technologies. So why does all this matter to you? Well, the stakes couldn't be higher. On one hand,
This tech could be a miracle for medicine, right? Potentially helping people with paralysis or those who can't speak. But then there's the other side. It could fundamentally change how we learn, how we remember, and how we interact with the digital world. It really makes you stop and ask some huge questions about what it even means to be human.
And that really leaves us with one final, kind of chilling question to chew on. As this stuff moves from science fiction to actual reality, if our minds are seamlessly hooked up to an AI, what part of our thinking is actually ours? Where does me end and the machine begin? It's a question we're all going to have to face, and probably a lot sooner than we think.